Okay, my dear students, good morning, all of you. So, today I'm going to discuss this chapter cell cycle and cell division of the class 11th. And here, first, I will be giving you a brief introduction and I will try to familiarize you with the concept that what is the importance of the cell division and what are the major features and how it takes place. So, before starting to introduce the actual cell cycle, let me tell you in the first and second unit of your syllabus, you already have seen that there are different kinds of the life forms on Earth, and you have seen their diversity, their external and internal features in this first chapter, in the first unit. Okay. In the next unit, you studied their morphology and anatomy of the plant and animal kingdom, and you have become very much familiar that what are different life forms and their different kinds of the properties, and we, in a nutshell, we can call all these things as the natural history of the life forms, right? So these things, this natural history, which is also classical biology, actually is just one part of the biology. But you all know that today, in this comprehensive field, we don't only need to study the life forms, but we need to study the processes which are associated with these life forms also. That means how these organisms operate at the molecular and cellular level. Those things also we have to understand. So in this third unit, that is why there is a reductionist approach, and we are going even further down and deeper in a reductionist approach so that we can understand more how these different kinds of the organisms, whether plants or animals or microorganisms, they are performing their functions, they are able to maintain themselves. Okay, so if we see at the organismal level, you already know that Aristotle long ago had proposed that all living organisms arose, uh, then they form a ladder-like pattern called as Scala Naturae by him, and then this concept was later on evolved, and today in the evolutionary biology it is a well-established concept that all living organisms arose from one single common ancestor, right? So this is at the organism level. So from single-celled organisms, the life diversified. Many single-celled organisms like amoeba, paramecium, trypanosoma, plasmodium, and fungi, unicellular and then multicellular. Then life became more and more complex, and many kinds of the multicellular organisms also evolved, right? So for this unicellular organism, it has to give rise to its daughter or its offspring. What will happen? It has to make a similar kind of the cell, okay? So which is called as daughter cell or progeny. So it has to make actually two cells which are similar to the parent, okay, in the properties. So from here we have to come here. This will become possible only when this cell is able to make faithfully these two copies of the cells by properly distributing in a systematic way not only the organelles and different components of the cell, but also the molecule, the largest molecule, which we call as DNA, right? So DNA, in other words, the chromosome has to be distributed faithfully from parent to offspring. So in this process, here the cell will enlarge, it will become larger, and then it will divide, it will make two cells, and it will complete this division. So cell division is actually the method of reproduction for the unicellular organisms. But in multicellular organisms, you all know that all the multicellular organisms also arise from a single cell, which is called as zygote, right? So this zygote finally has to turn into a complete organism. So how this will operate? This again, here the cell has to divide. Okay, so to make you appreciate this second point, let me tell you that in our body, in human, we have more than 100 types of cells. Okay, and all these cells have arose from the zygote. Moreover, do you know that what is the number of cells in the human body? Have you ever thought of, have you ever wondered? So let me tell you, there are about 10 raised to the power 14 cells in the human body on average. Okay, that means 100 trillion cells are there. All these will be formed from the single zygote by the process of the cell division, and they will differentiate and they will be dedicated for different functions, and they will make diverse kinds of the cells which are finally going to do lot of functions in different tissues and in different organs of our body. So all this will be possible only when you have this very proper and very systematic way for the cell division. So as you can see from this figure that this parental cell which is going to divide to make two cells, first it has to grow in size, and then this cell after growth, what will be happening during the growth? It will make lot of protein, lot of RNA, the DNA will also be synthesized, and then these things will be distributed equally into two daughter cells, right? Two progeny cells, two offspring cells. Now, have you ever thought of that how this will go in the detail? If I tell you that first this cell grows, okay, and then this cell grows even further, and at one point this nucleus disappears. Okay, after that this nucleus, two nuclei are formed and it divides. Okay, and so there is a stage where there is no nucleus. Okay, so initially when it was discovered, people were surprised that how it is possible. But let me tell you, this is what happens in most of the cells in the eukaryotic, right? Obviously in prokaryotes there is no nucleus, so there is another method which I will be discussing subsequently in the topic under amitosis. Okay, amitosis is also important, it has been asked several times. So this is how it operates. So what I want to point you out is that it is not only the faithful transmission of the proteins, of the organelles, of the DNA which has to occur from the parent to offspring cell, but it also has to follow a proper path. Who controls all these paths? That who tells this cell that okay, this nucleus should not divide directly? In other words, I will tell you that from this stage it is not directly going like this, and it is not making two nuclei and then it is not reaching like this. Okay, so this thing never happens, this never operates, rather this path is followed. Okay, so here you should not get confused. Okay, so let me rub it off so that you don't get confused. So each of these things are under a lot of controls. We will discuss a little bit about these controls, about these mechanisms of the regulation for these cell divisions also, because it is frequently asked in the NEET examination as well. So we will deal a little bit with those things also. But let me tell you a very salient feature of this cell cycle and cell division. Primarily, the cell division is under the genetic control. Okay, that means what are the different step-by-step processes, how it will divide? This is regulated genetically. It is all already programmed, written in the life code in the form of the DNA. Now, let us see, after understanding the importance and the significance of the cell cycle as a whole, now let us see what is the meaning of cell cycle. So before telling you what exactly cell cycle is, let me tell you that for a single cell to divide and make two similar daughter cells in the human, okay, on average 24 hours time is taken. Okay, on average. Why on average? I just before a moment I told you that there are more than 100 types of cells in the human beings, right? So obviously each different type of cell may have its own specific set of time for the cell division. But on average, for human cells, this is 24 hours. For simpler cells, it may be even lesser. For even more complex cells, sometimes it may vary according to the species, according to the complexity of the cell, right? So, there are 2-3 important things which you should know. Like for yeast cell you all know that it is a eukaryotic cell. It's a fungi, it's a unicellular eukaryote, right? But it is it is considered one of the simplest eukaryotes. So yeast has 90 minutes of the generation time. Okay, in 90 minutes yeast cell divides from 1 to into 2. Similarly, bacteria you all know that it is a prokaryote, and in the bacteria there is no nucleus. It's a very simple prokaryotic organism. So here the division also is very simple. It takes very less time. So typically under the favorable conditions 20 minutes are enough for the bacterial cell to divide. Here mainly we are talking about Escherichia coli. Okay, this is a bacteria which is found in the human gut. हमारे जो आंत है उसके अंदर ये पाए जाते हैं Escherichia coli. So out of this 24 hours, if you take this time of 24 hours and we try to plot in the form of a clock, okay, so if I say that this is the clock, okay, and out of these 24 hours, if this is the complete 24 hours, how much time is taken for the actual cell division? Okay, so that actual cell division actually takes very small part of this time. Okay, it is hardly 1 hour. Okay, are you getting confused? No. Here this offers us an opportunity to understand it even deeper. What does it mean that actual cell division? When I say actual cell division, I am talking of the M phase. Why it is called as M phase? M comes from the mitosis, okay, mitotic division. So this actual cell division is also called as M phase. In mitosis also there is M phase. In meiosis is reduction division, which we will discuss subsequently. So in meiosis also there is there are actually 2 M phases. So that we will discuss subsequently. Don't worry for that. Currently focus here that when this cell is trying to make 2 cells by the cell cycle or cell division, the actual cell division only takes 1 hour, rest of the 24 hours. That means out of this 24 hour, 23 hour time is utilized by the cell to prepare itself for the cell division. Okay, obviously it is very logical that the cell, it has to first grow in the size, it has to make 2 copies of the DNA because it has to give each chromosome to each cell, right? It has to distribute, for example, if the cell is having only 1 mitochondria, it has to give 1 mitochondria to each of the cells, so it has to make 2 mitochondria. Similarly, each organelle needs to be transmitted, right, in an equal proportion. So this rest of the time is called as the phase which is between the M phase. That means if the cell wants to divide, first it will prepare itself. So it will start preparing itself. It will move on. Once it has prepared, once this clock has reached here, it has prepared itself, then only it will enter this stage, right? Then only it will enter this stage. That means in the cell cycle, this duration between the M phase, between 2 M phases, the time duration between 2 M phases This is called as interphase. Okay. Interphase is also called as intermitotic phase, or even sometimes it is called as resting stage or resting phase. Okay. Initially it was called as resting phase, and this is called as actual cell division. So if you take these two terms, resting stage, okay, and actual mitotic division, actual cell division, or M phase, they have contrasting meanings. What is the meaning of M phase? Actual cell division. That means you can observe certain changes using the microscope which are going on in the cell. You can see that there is something which is changing, there is some change which is taking place, something is going here, something is formed, something is dissolved. Okay, so these changes you can very much observe. That is why it is called as actual cell division phase. But here in the resting stage, other than the growth, that the cell is growing in size to become larger before dividing, you don't see much changes. That is why it is called as resting stage. But let me tell you, and this has been asked frequently, sorry, this has been asked frequently, the cell is actually not in the resting stage in the interphase. There are a lot of metabolic activities which are going on in the interphase because the cell has to prepare itself. It has to synthesize a lot of the molecules. So metabolically it is actually very active stage. It is not a resting stage, but it is still called as resting stage. It has been asked many times in the NEET examination. Okay. Now moving further, we can say that a particular cell cycle actually has two phases, M phase and interphase, right? Now interphase again has been divided into three stages, okay, into three stages. Okay, before going to this three stages of the interphase, let me tell you that this is 1 hour, this is 23 hours. That means M phase accounts for 1 out of 24 hours, which roughly corresponds to about 5% time of the cell cycle, right? And let me also tell you the time between two successive cell divisions. That means from one cell there are two cells, and from two cells again there will be four cells which will be formed, right? If you go one more round of cell division. So one cell division, second cell division, third cell division. So what is the time from one division to next division? This time is called as regeneration time. Okay, so the time of the cell cycle is also called as regeneration time, or we can say that time taken from one cell division to another cell division is called as regeneration time. Okay, so regeneration time, I have told you that for human it is 24 hours on average, for yeast it is 90 minutes and so on. So about 5% of the regeneration time is only responsible for the M phase. 95% is the interphase. In general, what is the range for all the living organisms? The range is 70 to 95%. Okay. So what I want to tell you here is that जो भी रिजेनरेशन टाइम है, जो भी सेल साइकिल का टाइम है, उसका 70 to 95% ऑफ द टाइम द सेल रिमेन्स इन द इंटरफेज स्टेज, एंड द रिमेनिंग टाइम, that means 5 to 30% of the regeneration time, the cell is in the M phase or active cell division phase. Okay. So now this interphase, I was telling you that it is divided into three stages. Okay. G1 phase, S phase and G2 phase. So now I am going to explain this detail of the interphase. But before going into the detail of the interphase, let me tell you something more about this M phase. Okay. What happens that this M phase is the phase of the actual cell division, and here after this M phase, what results is the division of the nucleus. समझ में आया? देखिए जब एक सेल को डिवाइड होना है, ठीक, तो पहले क्या होगा, न्यूक्लियस डिसअपियर हो जाएगा, द न्यूक्लियस विल डिसअपियर एंड देन टू न्यूक्लियाई विल अपीयर. ओके, व्हेन टू न्यूक्लियाई अपीयर that is called as karyokinesis. Okay, so first there will be karyokinesis and then there will be cytokinesis. So while this karyokinesis has to happen, then this M phase will operate. ठीक, यानी कि M phase का end product क्या है, we can say that the end product, that means after the M phase there will be formation of two nucleus. And once the two nucleus are formed, then the cytoplasm will divide and it will make two cells. Okay, so in other words we can say that cell cycle involves first karyokinesis and then only cytokinesis happens. Okay, so in karyokinesis actually results from the M phase. एक्चुअली साइटोकाइनेसिस एंड कैरियोकाइनेसिस में एक क्लियर रिलेशनशिप यह है कि फर्स्ट कैरियोकाइनेसिस होता है, उसके बाद साइटोकाइनेसिस होता है. ठीक है, सो साइटोकाइनेसिस इज ऑलवेज फॉलोड बाय द कैरियोकाइनेसिस ऑपरेट्स बिफोर द साइटोकाइनेसिस एंड साइटोकाइनेसिस इज फॉलोड बाय द रादर फॉलोज द कैरियोकाइनेसिस. ओके, सॉरी. तो कैरियोकाइनेसिस के लिए आपके पास एम फेज है और एम फेज में एक्चुअली देयर आर 4 स्टेजेस, जिसको हम बोलते हैं प्रोफेज, फिर मेटाफेज, अगर इधर से चल रहे हैं प्रोफेज, मेटाफेज, देन एनाफेज एंड देन टीलोफेज. ओके, सो इन दिस वे देयर आर 4 सब स्टेजेस ऑफ द एम फेज एंड इट डिफर्स. This M phase differs slightly in the mitosis and meiosis, which I will be discussing when we discuss the mitosis and meiosis, and then we will discuss these 4 stages each one by one. Okay, but here because we are just introducing and we are at the beginning of this cell cycle chapter, so first we have to understand this interphase. So let us see what are these 3 sub stages of the interphase. Okay, so in the interphase we have G1 phase, we have S phase, we have G2 phase. So these are, so actually G stands for gap, okay, and S stands for synthesis. Now let me explain you one by one. G1 phase is also called as post mitotic phase because M phase के बाद होता है. It is sometimes also called as post mitotic gap phase or G1 phase or gap 1 phase. Okay, S phase is called as synthetic phase and G2 phase is called as pre-mitotic gap phase. Okay, pre-mitotic क्यों बोलते हैं, M phase से जस्ट पहले हो रहा है इसलिए, राइट. In general, usually this G1 phase is longest of these 3 sub stages of the interphase. G1 is usually longest of the 3 सब स्टेजेस. ओके, G1, S और G2 में अगर टाइम पीरियड के हिसाब से देखा जाए तो कौन बड़ा होता है, G1 का टाइम सबसे ज्यादा होता है इन जनरल. दूसरी चीज, हियर इन द S फेज व्हाट हैपेंस, सिंथेसिस ऑफ व्हाट, सिंथेसिस ऑफ डीएनए. ओके, सो सिंथेसिस ऑफ डीएनए किस लिए होना है भाई, सेल का जो मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग है दैट इज द जेनेटिक मटेरियल ऑफ द डीएनए व्हिच इज स्टोर्ड इन द क्रोमोसोम्स. Chromosome is largely made up of the DNA assisted by the proteins which help in the folding and other things. Okay, अभी आप ये समझिए कि जो हमारी क्रोमोसोम्स हैं, ओके, वो मेनली डीएनए के बने होते हैं. एंड फॉर एग्जांपल हमारे पास यानी कि ह्यूमन में हाउ मच वी डीएनए वी हैव इन द ह्यूमन, आई थिंक यू ऑल नो 46 chromosomes, right? So these 46 chromosomes are 23 pairs, right? We also call it 22 plus XY. Okay, 22 pairs of the autosomes plus XY. Okay, so these fixed number of the chromosomes, they have to be duplicated or we call it replicated. Okay, so before this replication of the DNA takes place, the cell has to prepare itself. That means cell has to synthesize certain मॉलिक्यूल्स। समझ में आ रहा है? देखिए कॉन्सेप्चुअली आप इसको ऐसे समझिए, पर्पस हमारे सेल साइकिल का क्या है? द सेल हैज टू डिवाइड फ्रॉम वन सेल इनटू टू so that it can make two equal copies of the cells. And if it wants to make two equal identical copies, it has to faithfully transmit, it has to faithfully distribute, बिल्कुल प्रॉपर तरीके से, एक्यूरेट तरीके से इसको सब कुछ डिवाइड करना पड़ेगा, राइट? मान लीजिए क्रोमोसोम 1, ठीक, वी आर डाइप्लॉइड ऑर्गेनिजम्स, सो वी हैव टू कॉपीज ऑफ क्रोमोसोम 1, एक हमारे पास मदर से आया है, एक हमारे फादर से आया है, राइट? So these two copies of chromosomes are there in a particular cell. So one copy of each, that means one copy of chromosome 1 जो फादर से आया है उसका भी बनना चाहिए, one copy of the chromosome 1 जो मदर से आया है उसका भी बनना चाहिए, और फिर दोनों को इक्वली डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होना चाहिए दोनों सेल में, राइट? So it will become more clear later on as we go on. आप ये समझिए अभी कि हर क्रोमोसोम का, ये जो 46 क्रोमोसोम है, 46 क्रोमोसोम्स है, एवरी क्रोमोसोम का यू हैव टू मेक एग्जैक्ट रेप्लिका, एग्जैक्ट कॉपी, एंड देन यू हैव टू डिस्ट्रीब्यूट, बिकॉज द डीएनए इज द वेरी क्रूशल एंड इट इज द लाइफ मटेरियल, इट इज द इंफॉर्मेशन फॉर द लाइफ. सो वी कैन से that the ultimate purpose of the cell is to divide the DNA faithfully, because if the DNA gets transferred faithfully, rest of the things it will try to manage, okay? It will, because DNA will have the information, so it will make and it will manage. But if you want to replicate the DNA, if you want to make two copies of the DNA, what you have to do? You have to prepare first. There are many other things which are needed for making even the DNA. So what happens in the G1 phase is that in the G1 phase, largest of interphase, right? In the G1 phase, lot of RNA is synthesized and lot of protein is synthesized, okay? And cell grows in size, okay? The cell grows in size. Next, what happens? The volume, when the cell grows, the volume of the cell also grows. When the volume of the cell grows, the nucleus ka volume to remains same, so the nucleocytoplasmic ratio gets altered, okay? So that we will see in the control of the mitosis later on. Many organelles which are there, okay, they will start making their copies. For example, because they also have to get distributed. For example, mitochondria, या फिर हमारे पास क्लोरोप्लास्ट है, या फिर आप एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम ले लीजिए, तो this also needs to be distributed, so they also need to be divided, so they start also dividing. So this lot of metabolic activities go on in the G1 phase, and then certain stage reaches that the cell is now ready for going to the synthesis phase, okay? So there is this very crucial point, okay, for transition from G1 to S phase. This is very tightly regulated genetically, and there are certain regulator molecules, certain small proteins are there which regulate this transition, and once this transition is made, the cell is destined to divide. What I am trying to say is that once the cell passes the G1 phase and enters the S phase, the cell is destined to divide. It is destined to complete the cell cycle. एक बार अगर ये वाला क्रॉस कर गया तो ये पूरा यहाँ तक आकर के डिवाइड करेगा इन जनरल, नॉर्मली अगर कुछ डिफेक्ट नहीं है तो, ठीक है? तो ये बहुत क्रूशियल पॉइंट है. तो इसको कौन कंट्रोल करता है? बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट प्रोटीन है और बहुत बार नीट में भी एग्जाम में भी पूछा गया है. उसको बोलते हैं साइक्लिन G1, ओके, CG1. Cyclin G1 is a very important regulator which operates at the transition of the G1 to S phase. Okay, so this is the very major regulator and it decides the transition from G1 to S phase. Once the cell enters the S phase, then what happens? you already know that the DNA starts getting replicated, DNA starts getting synthesized. So for example, अभी हमारे पास कितना था, 2n means diploid है ना, so 2n and we can say 2c. What is the meaning of 2n 2c? C stands for the number of chromosomes. जैसे मैंने यहाँ पे बताया आपको 46 chromosomes. 2 means diploid. तो यहाँ पे 2n का मतलब हुआ कि the organism is diploid, right? यहाँ पे 2c का मतलब 2 chromosomes. जैसे कि अगर मैं एग्जांपल देके आपको समझाऊं, फॉर एग्जांपल लेट अस टेक क्रोमोसोम नंबर 5. ओके, हाउ मेनी क्रोमोसोम 5 वी हैव इन आवर सेल? अगर हम अपना बॉडी का एक सेल ले लें तो हाउ मेनी क्रोमोसोम 5 वी विल हैव? ये न्यूक्लियस है हमारा सेल के अंदर, तो एक क्रोमोसोम 5 हमारे पास आएगा अपनी मदर से, एक क्रोमोसोम 5 हमारे पास आएगा अपने फादर से, राइट? तो हमारे पास 2 कॉपीज होंगे. दैट मीन्स वी आर 2n, वी आर डाइप्लॉइड, राइट? Similarly, now this content of the chromosome, now it will double. So after the S phase, there will be synthesis of the DNA, but each cell will make 2 copies of the DNA, but that DNA will remain attached to itself. जैसे कि मान लीजिए एक क्रोमोसोम ये है हमारे पास, ठीक है, ये पहले है, एस फेज से पहले हमारे पास इस तरह का क्रोमोसोम है. जब एस फेज में आएगा तो अब डबल सिंथेसिस हो गया, 2 कॉपी बन गई, तो अब ये क्रोमोसोम इस तरह से हो जाएगा, समथिंग लाइक दिस. ओके, सो फ्रॉम हियर नाउ यू आर मेकिंग एक्चुअली दिस काइंड ऑफ द डीएनए. दैट मीन्स इट वाज डाइप्लॉइड बिफोर एंड इट इज डाइप्लॉइड इवन नाउ. नंबर ऑफ क्रोमोसोम, ये एक क्रोमोसोम है, ये भी एक ही क्रोमोसोम है क्योंकि ये फिजिकली जुड़ा हुआ है इससे. ओके, सो बिकॉज ऑफ दिस फिजिकल अटैचमेंट द नंबर ऑफ क्रोमोसोम्स रिमेन सेम, बट द क्रोमोसोम कंटेंट बिकम्स डबल. हियर यू हैड क्रोमोसोम कंटेंट and here you have double the DNA content. Okay, so after G1 phase the DNA content gets doubled, but still it remains in the diploid stage. We cannot call it a tetraploid stage. Okay, और इस पे बहुत बार क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है, so this should be clear to you. So once this DNA is synthesized, then S phase is completed and then the cell enters into G2 phase, which is gap 2 or pre-mitotic phase. G2 phase में again there is some protein synthesis. Okay, there is some RNA synthesis. अच्छा, एक चीज और बता दें, एनिमल सेल्स और प्लांट सेल्स में देयर इज अ बेसिक एंड फंडामेंटल डिफरेंस इन द कंपोजिशन ऑफ द ऑर्गेनेल्स. व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस? एनिमल सेल्स हैव सेंट्रियोल्स. सेंट्रियोल एक ऑर्गेनेल होता है. ओके, so animal cells have centrioles and these centrioles are actually replicated or divide in S phase. यूजुअली ऑर्गेनेल्स जो है वो हमारे जीवन फेज में होते हैं, लेकिन सेंट्रियोल जो है वो एस फेज में है. दैट मीन्स एनिमल सेल में सेल के अंदर डीएनए का रेप्लिकेशन हो रहा होता है, न्यूक्लियस के अंदर सॉरी, और बाहर जो है यहाँ सेंट्रियोल का रेप्लिकेशन हो रहा होता है. ओके, सो सेंट्रियोल डज नॉट रेप्लिकेट इन द G1 और G2 फेज, इट रेप्लिकेट्स इन द एस फेज. ये बहुत बार पूछा गया है नीट में, दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके, और प्लांट सेल्स में तो सेंट्रियोल एब्सेंट होता है. तो इन द G2 phase this protein and RNA are further synthesized. Okay, so and in all these 3 sub stages the growth of the cell continues, यानी कि इसका साइज जो है वो बढ़ता रहता है, it keeps on growing. Once it synthesizes all the proteins and DNA of the proteins and RNA which are required, then it completes the G2 cycle and it is now ready to enter into the M phase. So this transition is also very crucial, and this is controlled by a regulatory protein which is called as cyclin M. Okay, or mitotic cyclin. So this is again a cyclin protein. Here it was CG1, here it is CM. So this is a protein, this is a regulatory molecule which controls the transition from G1 to M phase. Okay. So here you have to remember that this DNA replication is a very well regulated process. It takes place only and only in the S phase. Okay. Remaining organelles which were still to be replicated or duplicated, they are completed in this G2 phase, and then it completes G2 phase and it enters the M phase, and the cell starts the actual process of the karyokinesis. ओके यानी यहाँ पे आने के बाद अब कैरियोकाइनेसिस में एंटर होता है ये, और उसमें फिर मैंने आपको जैसे बताया पहले प्रोफेज, फिर मेटाफेज, और फिर एनाफेज एंड देन टीलोफेज. So these all four stages now operate, and then karyokinesis, that means division of the nucleus, actually takes place, and the DNA faithfully gets transmitted, which we will study in more detail when we study the mitosis. Okay. So this completes this introduction to the cell cycle and cell division. Two important points I want to mention over here is that many times when the cell has divided, actually it enters, sometimes it enters we can say in a reserve state. ठीक है, जैसे मैं आपको एग्जांपल बताऊं, हमारे पास WBC होते हैं, हमारे ब्लड में सारा तरफ हमारे बॉडी में घूमते रहते हैं, और जब हमें कोई बैक्टीरिया अटैक करता है, इन्फेक्शन होता है, तो हमारे वो WBC सेल्स क्या करते हैं, डिवाइड करते हैं क्विकली. ओके, सो if this cycle keeps on going, if it continues, that means the cell cycle is going, it is operating. But many times what happens, that the cell just sits idle. It becomes as a reserve cell, it stops dividing. Okay, that means ये M phase complete होने के बाद ये फिर से G1 enter करेगा और ये stop कर देगा divide करना, and it will come here, it will rest as a reserve cell pool. But whenever there is a need, again this will enter into the G1 stage and it will complete the cell cycle. Okay, so this G0 phase is also called as quiescent phase. Okay, quiescent or G0 stage. So this quiescent or G0 stage, this is also a very important stage of the interphase, we can say. The सेल्स विच आर रिजर्व, जैसे कि स्टेम सेल है या फिर हेमेटोपोइटिक सेल्स जिसको हम बोलते हैं, ये सब G0 स्टेज में आते हैं. ठीक है, हमारे सेल का जो हमारी बॉडी के अंदर जो हीलिंग होती है, हमें कहीं चोट लग गई, जख्म हो गया, ठीक है, बाद में हमारे वहाँ पे टिश्यू को हील होना है, रिपेयर होना है, तो द सेल्स हैव टू डिवाइड, राइट, सो दैट इट कैन फिल इट अप. सो हाउ इट विल हैपन, द सम सेल्स विच आर देयर, दे नीड टू स्टार्ट डिवाइडिंग अगेन सो दैट दे कैन मेक दिस टिश्यू. So this is called as G0 stage or quiescent stage. So quiescent stage is actually an inactive stage, and this is also very important stage. Here the cell is metabolically active, it is doing its some normal function, but the difference is it no longer proliferates. दो important चीज है इसके लिए, it no longer proliferates and it has the potential to differentiate it has the potential to start dividing again when there is a need. इसीलिए इसको हम रिजर्व सेल बोलते हैं. ठीक है, so it can join cell cycle any time, and that is the characteristic of the G0 phase. so ये G1 को मिडवे में छोड़ करके सेल साइकिल से लगा के बैठ जाता है, जब जरूरत होती है फिर से ज्वाइन कर लेता है सेल साइकिल को. ओके, so this is an introduction for the cell cycle and cell division. अभी there are certain factors which are responsible which control the cell cycle. कौन से फैक्टर्स कंट्रोल करते हैं सेल साइकिल को, उसके बाद फिर सेल साइकिल कैसे ऑपरेट होती है, हमने जैसे इंटरफेस देख लिया, अब फिर एम फेज के अंदर किस तरह से होता है. तो इसका जो बेसिक फीचर्स हैं, एम फेज और G1S और G2, these things are common to both kinds of the cell division, mitosis and meiosis. ओके, माइटोसिस में दो इक्वल डिवीजन होने के बाद दो इक्वल सेल बनते हैं, टू आइडेंटिकल डॉटर सेल्स आर मेड. मायोसिस में क्या होता है, दिस इज ए रिडक्शनिस्ट डिवीजन, एंड हियर इन द रिडक्शनिस्ट डिवीजन the DNA content gets reduced. Okay, so in the meiosis there is a different scheme of this cell cycle, and it differs a little bit. That I will be explaining when I explain the meiosis. But this G1 S phase and G2 phase and M phase, this is the basic feature of the cell cycle and cell division for all the divisions in the eukaryotic cells. So now today we will stop here